What is good, NIO family? It's Rey-Jay back with another video, and in this one, I'm going to be talking about the one and only NIO stock and use some data to give you guys my price prediction for tomorrow. I'm also going to talk about what I expect to be happening for the overall market, what's going on with the PPI data, what's happening in Shanghai that's very important for NIO and the rest of the world, and also what NIO put on their Twitter page that still makes me very bullish for the long term of NIO. Now, before I give you guys my price prediction, before I do any technical analysis or talk about all this data, I do have to mention a couple of things real quick. The first thing is I'm not a financial planner, so please don't take this as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button if you want to see more videos like this. It not only benefits me, benefits the entire NIO community as a whole. The last things, if you guys can, please check out the Webull link down below and in the description. If you sign up with my link down below and deposit any amount of money, you're going to get up to 5 free stocks, each worth up to $2,000. And you could always sell these 5 free stocks and get some cash to buy some NIO shares for free. This is a limited time offer to get those free NIO shares. So please check it out because this offer ends in just 5 days. And also, Webull is about to run out of these 5 free stocks. So please check it out before they run out. This is a limited time offer to get those NIO shares. With that out of the way, let's get on with the video. So anyways, looking at NIO, we did see this thing kind of up right now, up about 4.93% for the day. Now, in my previous video, if you guys watched my video from yesterday, I told you guys that I saw us actually testing and maybe breaking past that $20 level of resistance. I did see us breaking past it for some time. Then I told you guys that we'd run a little bit to the upside, then drop towards the very end, and maybe close just above it around 20.1. That is what my prediction was. And we ended up closing at about 20.42. So I was off by about 30 cents, but I was correct about us being green today, and that is what ended up happening. Now, when it comes to technical analysis, you're not always going to be right about predictions, but in this case, as long as there's no big piece of news, I do think that the market is going to take a bit of a hit tomorrow. We are going to see some red going into tomorrow before we see more green going into next week. And the reason I think that is, first off, look at this right here. If you look at the SPY options data, we can see that there are 203,000 calls out of the money, and there are 743,000 out of the money too. So if you look at the puts, though, here's the very crazy thing. For today, there were 333,000 puts out of the money, but 2.59 million essentially puts out of the money. Once again, over 2.59 million. That's insane. That means that all of these puts are not necessarily in the money, or the current share price is actually, how should I say this, above where they want it to be. This means that a lot of these market makers, a lot of these institutions, they want these puts in the money, because why would they buy this many and allow them to be this far out of the money? It's very unlikely. So what I anticipate is they're going to push us down, and they're going to try to push the entire market down going into tomorrow, at least to some degree. It also is Thursday, and that's the last day that the market's open this week, because it is going to be closed in commemorance of Good Friday. So the market's closed on Friday. On Thursday is basically going to be the last day. Typically, we do see the market kind of slow down on the last days. There are lots of day traders that start selling, and also these shorts, these market makers, these institutions, they want the market to drop just a little bit, at least to some degree, because of what's happening in the options chain. They want to get more puts in the money for sure, in my opinion. And I do see this as a catalyst that is going to push the market down, especially the SPY, just for tomorrow. And the SPY dropping is going to lead to a lot of other sectors dropping too. The same thing is probably going to happen to the Nasdaq. So I do expect this to bring NIO down at least just slightly. Now, a big thing going on in the world is the PPI data came out. This did not affect the market too badly. Supplier prices rose by 11.2%. And for those of you who don't know, it's showing the PPI, which is kind of like the CPI, except it's for producers. And that just means that the prices paid by the wholesalers rose 1.4% in March, and now it is at 11.2%. So we're seeing a lot of high numbers, more expenses for suppliers, for the producers as well. So as a result, like I said before, I would not be surprised if we see a bit of a drop going into tomorrow. And what I think is going to happen to NIO is this. So NIO does have some support right now at around 20, because once you drop out of that previous resistance range, once you run past it, it becomes support if we were to drop. So I have this simply moved out right here. We ended up closing above the 200 moving average, which is a pretty good sign. but we spend a lot of the day kind of below it, so to speak. So what I anticipate is this. If you look at the technical indicators, yeah, they are kind of showing that we are looking pretty strong right now, pretty bullish, but I feel like they are a little bit wrong, and that is because of what's happening with the current situation of the world, what's happening with the current market, and also what on earth these market makers want. So RSI is picking up. This just shows that, look, going into next week, I'm going to be very bullish. I think NIO is going to run to the, it's going to fill its gap around this like this low $20 level to around 22 bucks. But before we get to 22 for tomorrow, I think we're going to drop just a little bit. We're going to see one last dip before we rip. Now, where do we drop to? I see this thing dropping to that $20 range, maybe a little bit below that. And I think we're going to trade in the $19 level. I don't think we're going to crash too hard. I don't think it's even going to be a crash. We're going to drop to that $19.2 level, somewhere around there. Trade a little bit sideways, and maybe close for Thursday around that $19.5 level. So I do expect us to have a bit of a red day. I do see that happening. It's not the end of the world, so don't become too scared by some red day happening. It's typical, it's common, it's normal. Don't be afraid, because I will be a lot more bullish going into next week after the things that are going on. Now, another big thing going out for the world is this right here. In Shanghai, we still have the lockdown perpetuating. It is leading to some anxiety, or should I say apprehension, over what's happening with the global supply chains. And that's actually having an effect on the entire globe. So we really need to see how production is improved after this. So what's happening to NIO is they did end up halting their production too. So did Tesla. And we're just going to have to wait and see how long this ends up taking, because to me, it still is a very serious issue. They are easing down a little bit from other sources that I found, but right now it still is going on. So we really need to see how long this takes, because it is going to affect NIO's numbers. It's going to affect Tesla's numbers. The entire EV sector is going to be affected. So I really hope they get through this quickly. And as of right now, it still is going on. So we're just going to have to wait and see how that goes. Regardless of that, NIO Global, they had this tweet about the NIO ES8, which is an absolutely fantastic vehicle. We could see that it has lots and lots and lots of cargo space at 1,900 liters, has an intelligent air purification system, and it looks very stylish, very good for small families. So I'm very excited, because look, they have a fantastic amount of customer service. They have very good fundamentals. The company is still fantastic. There are some supply chain issues. There are some external things affecting them. It's not their fault. So don't worry about the effect it has on the share price or what happens for the next day. In the long term, I'm still very bullish. I see this thing breaking past high numbers. I do see it one day breaking all-time highs by next year. I'm still very bullish, so don't worry what this thing does right now. The long term is still very bright. The short term, I gave you guys my prediction. I expect this thing to trade in the $19 level range probably sometime by tomorrow. And I do expect us to run up just a little bit and close around that mid $19 level. So that's my prediction. I'm not necessarily losing faith in the company. This is just what I see happening. I do see a bit of a sell off for the market, but I do see us recovering going into next week. And I do see a lot of earnings that are really going to push us up. And I still see the future as something that's very bright. Anyways, thank you all for listening. Please enjoy the rest of your day. Do not lose faith. Remain calm, cool, and collected. And don't let the charts play you. You need to play the charts. Thank you. Have a great rest of the day. NIO to the moon, and peace out.